In this example, we are going to deal with functions within functions. So using f of x, g of x, and h of x above, we want to determine f of g of 2. So in other words, we want to find f in terms of g in terms of 2. Now this may sound a bit confusing, but we're going to start with our innermost function of g of 2. So let's write down g of 2. Above, we know that g of x is x squared, so we're going to write g of 2 equals x squared. But our 2 replaces our x, so wherever we see an x in g of x, we want to replace it with a 2. So we're left with g of 2 equals 2 squared. And of course, we know that 2 squared is 2 times 2, which gives us 4. So g of 2 is 4. So now that we've solved for our innermost function of g of 2, we can replace g of 2 with a 4. So now, instead of f of g of 2, we're left with f of 4. And we know that f of x is x plus 3, so we'll write f of 4 equals x plus 3. But now wherever we see an x, we want to replace it with the value of 4. So our f of 4 equals 4 plus 3. And 4 plus 3 gives us an answer of 7. So f of g of 2 gives us a value of 7. Now our next example wants us to determine g of f of 2. So again, we're going to start with our innermost function of f of 2. So we know that from above, f of 2 equals x plus 3. But wherever we see an x, we want to replace it with the value of 2. So f of 2 equals 2 plus 3, which we know to be 5, so f of 2 equals 5. So now we found the value f of 2, and we can replace that in our original function. So instead of g of f of 2, we now have g of the value of f of 2, which we solved to be 5. We know that g of x is x squared, so we have g of 5 equals x squared, and wherever we see an x, we want to replace it with the value of 5. So g of 5 equals 5 squared. And of course, 5 squared is 5 times 5, which gives us a value of 25. So g of 5 equals 25, which means g of f of 2 also equals 25. Example 3 wants us to find h of f of a. So we're going to start with our innermost function of f of a. So we have f of a, which equals x plus 3. But now wherever we see an x, we want to replace it with the value of a. So we're going to have f of a equals a plus 3. And of course, a does not have a given value, so f of a just equals a plus 3. And now that we solve what f of a equals, we can replace that in our original function of h of f of a. So instead of h of f of a, we're going to have h of the value of f of a, which we solved to be a plus 3. h of x, as shown above, is x minus 5. So now wherever we see an x, we are going to replace it with a plus 3. So h of a plus 3 equals a plus 3 minus 5. Now simplifying this, we want to add the 3 and the negative 5, so we get h of a plus 3 equals a minus 2. So the value of h of f of a equals a minus 2. Moving on to example 4, we want to find f of h of b. So again, starting with our innermost function of h of b, we have h of b equals x minus 5. We are going to replace our x with the value of b, so we have h of b equals b minus 5. And there is no value of b, so we're just going to have h of b equals b minus 5. So now that we've solved for what h of b equals, we can plug that into our original function. So now instead of f of h of b, we are going to have f of the value of h of b, which is b minus 5. So f of b minus 5 is going to equal our f of x function, which is x plus 3. replace x with b minus 5, and we get f of b minus 5 equals b minus 5 plus 3. Grouping together like terms, we want to add this negative 5 to this positive 3. So we get f of b minus 5 equals b minus 2. So therefore f of h of b equals b minus 2. For our final example, we want to determine g of h of x plus 1. So again, we're going to start with h of x plus 1. So looking from above, we have h of x plus 1 equals x minus 5. Now we want to replace this x with our value of h of x. So h of x plus 1 equals x plus 1 minus 5. Now grouping together the positive 1 and the negative 5, we get h of x plus 1 equals x minus 4. So now that we've solved for our innermost function, we can now solve for the whole function. So instead of g of h of x plus 1, we are going to replace h of x plus 1 with the value we found to be x minus 4. So we have g of x minus 4 and g of x equals x squared. So now we want to replace x with x minus 4. So g of x minus 4 equals x minus 4 all squared. Now we can expand this out, so we get g of x minus 4 equals x minus 4 multiplied by x minus 4. Now we want to multiply this x by the second bracket, so we're left with x times x, which is x squared, x times negative 4, which is negative 4x, and now we want to multiply this negative 4 by our second set of brackets. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x, and negative 4 times negative 4 gives us positive 16. So grouping together like terms, we get x squared minus 4x gives us negative 8x, and then plus 16. So g of h of x plus 1 equals x squared minus 8x plus 16.